So welcome back to Ivan the Studios on the Lord Podcast. So I have a guest here. I want to talk to him about what is the essence of knowing your genotype. What kind of genotype do we have? Your blood group. Is it really important? Because relationship of nowadays, yeah, oh, we are just playing and moving in and out. So without much ado, let me introduce my guest. Hello, please. Welcome to Ivan the Studios.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so please, what's your name?
My name is MLS Steve.
MLST. So
Yeah,
what do you do?
I'm a medical laboratory scientist.
Medical laboratory scientist. So that means when it comes to lab, you can really call him. So I want you to dive us into the importance of knowing your genotype. What kind of genotype do we have? What is the essence of even knowing your genotype?
All right.
So my first question is, why is it important for individuals to know their genotype?
All right. So knowing your genotype, and first of all, I want to thank you so much, and also to thank your viewers and those who are listening to us this afternoon. If you are doing the listening, kindly subscribe, share, and help our brother to grow more followers. You see, when it comes to the issue of genotype, it's very critical issue where people don't take serious attention and they don't actually pay attention to it. All right. You see, genotype helps an individual to make informed decisions pertaining what we call hereditary diseases like sickle cell anemia. Because there are a lot of people, if you don't know your genotype, you marry, you end up giving birth to children that we call them sickle cellers. All of them are having sickle cell, which they are not supposed to be so. But because they didn't know their genotype, but they enter into certain marriages, that results in to this kind of sickle cell anemia, giving birth to a lot of children who have sickle cell, where they push them to a lot of things that they have to waste a lot of resources to be able to keep them. In fact, it is not an easy thing. So when it comes to the issue of genotypes and blood grouping, there are two things altogether. But I know we shall dwell more in them. But one of the things is that you see, when it comes to the issue of genotype, it's very critical, an issue where we have to look on and then be able to make an informed decisions. Very critical.
Very critical. But you said something about hereditary. You were saying something about if you don't know your genotype, maybe somebody can heredit other persons. So I want you to give up what is hereditary? What is it?
All right. So when we talk about hereditary disease, we are simply talking about something your disease your parents has had and they have passed those diseases on to you. They are currently having some genes where the younger one you inherit that gene. That is what we call hereditary. It could be the sickle cell we are talking about now. There are a lot of hereditary diseases, but one of the most disease that we have is a sickle cell, where your parents both didn't know their genotype before they enter into an institution of marriage, resulting to a sickle cell a child. They end up giving birth to a sickle cell child. That is what we talk about hereditary. You have inherited the gene from both parents.
Okay, if you know the importance, let me ask you, what are the common genotype people should know?
All right, so we have a lot of genotypes. We have AA, which is the perfect genotype that we have. We have AS, we have AC. You see, we have AS, we have SS. Among all these genotypes that I've mentioned, the one that is critical or the one that we have to check is the SS. Very serious. That is what we call sickle cell. It means that the child, if you give birth to a child and the child is SS, it means that he has the sickle cell crisis. Definitely, the child will go through the crisis because the child is a sickle celler. Uh-huh. Among that is the genotypes that we have so far, and that is the genotype. Yeah.
So AS, AA, that is the perfect genotype.
Yeah.
SS. But let we have some ACs and
Yes. AC2 is there. But among all the genotypes that we are mentioning, the one that is perfect is the AA. AA is a genotype that is perfect. If you happen to have AA genotype as an individual, you are capable to marry everybody within this world. Yeah, you can marry A, you can marry SS, and you succeed. You can marry AC, you succeed. AS, you succeed. You see, all these ones, the rest of them you can marry. Because why are we saying so? Genetically, just like I have said, you see, we are the reason why we are trying to know your genotype is to understand your genetic makeup. Everybody has genes, and the gene is passed through one parent to the other. So, well, you have your father has happened to have AA, your mother had AA. Definitely, you are going to inherit a gene from your mother and your father. If your father too is having AS, your mother is having AA. Definitely, you are going to you inherit an A gene. Maybe probably you are likely to also inherit AS gene, and that is what we talk about. That is the balance when it comes to genetic makeups, with regarding to what we call genotype. It's very critical. So these are the things that you check when it comes to the issue of genotype.
So let's focus on what is the importance of knowing your genotype before you get into a relationship, or whilst you are in a relationship. What is the essence of you knowing your genotype?
All right. So just like I have said, so genotype is very important. Why is it important? Let's separate the two. Now we have marriage and we have relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. When it comes to the issue of relationship, that is the time you are going to make decision and you enter into an institution of marriage.
Okay.
You are not yet married, but therefore you see every relationship is supposed to regard and to also help one another to make an informed decision
Okay.
that will help you to decide as to whether the one you are into you can enter or you can spend the rest of your life with or not.
Okay.
But if you as a relationship or as you've entered into relationship, one of the things you must observe is that before you can make an informed decision and stand before the congregation, whether it be wedding, whether it be any other thing, whether traditional marriage, any form of marriage at all, before you agree to someone that you are entering to an institution of marriage, you must know what we call your genotype. That is the first stage
Okay.
when it comes to the issues of relationship. Why are we doing that? Because of the risk factors. There are a lot of risk factors, but because of time, I may attempt to mention few. But there are a lot of risk factors when it comes to what we call genotype.
Okay.
So now genotype, if you are in relationship, you must know whether you and that of your partner or the one your boyfriend you are supposed to enter into relationship, whether you do what we call matching. Do you match with the person? When it comes to medically, do you match with the person? Genotype is one. Do you match with the person? Assuming you are AS, your your husband or your wife is SS, definitely you can't marry because it disqualifies you. Why does it disqualify you? Number one, if you marry such person, definitely your child is going to inherit
And
SS.
SS.
And if it is AS too, one way or the other, the child too can inherit AS. Because one, you see, no matter how it is,
There is a both
because
SS in them.
because there's gene, that your mother is having AS, the father is having SS. Definitely, you are going to have someone with sickle cell,
Okay.
which is going to bring a problem. But if you happen to a child to also inherit AS,
Hmm.
A and also an S
Okay.
from both parents,
Uh-huh.
what happens is that you are going to have what we call carrier.
Career.
You are not going to be having the sickle cell, but you are going to what we call carrier. So the carrier you have, but it is not effective as much as resulting to somebody with SS.
SS.
Yeah, with somebody with SS, it is not so. Yeah.
So okay, with that, let me ask you this: what health complication can arise if someone with an SS genotype is unaware of it?
All right. So before I go there,
Mhm.
I separated the two
Okay.
when it comes to relationship and marriage. The marriage aspect of the genotype, why it's very important to know your genotype is that when it comes to the issue of marriage, now
Okay.
you have agreed,
Mhm.
you have agreed to someone which you don't know
You are
your
staying with your
genotype.
life.
Yes, now you are formally or you are aware to the publicly that
Mhm.
okay, your genotype you've agreed. Oh, okay, let's marry. You are married to your partner, you don't know the
Mhm.
genotype. Now there's no problem. You may be lucky to get pregnant or to get impregnated or to become pregnant.
Mhm.
One thing is that when you are pregnant, when you are pregnant and you come to the issues of giving birth,
Okay.
even with during the pregnancy, you can dissolve the child can develop what we call hemolytic diseases.
Contribute to public health.
Okay, so when it comes to the genotyping aspect, you see genotype when somebody knows his genotype simply to be able to prevent all these genetic diseases I was
Genetic
talking
disease.
about.
So that is the main one is the genetic diseases.
Yes,
Okay.
it will reduce all these things,
Mm-hmm.
which will not cause this. You see, um, there are a lot of children with sickle cell diseases
Mm-hmm.
that will allow the government and other people to come in to help with this struggling and all those things. It will create an awareness.
Okay.
To create an awareness, so because you are informed and you know your genotype already, you
Mm-hmm.
will be able to see whether the genotype is okay for me to go to this person or not, to make choices.
Mm.
So once you're able to make choices, then you are good to go. And that's one thing about genotyping. So when
Okay.
you know the genotyping, you create an awareness.
Mm.
Once you create an awareness, you
Mm.
yourself, you know that, oh, this person, I do not match with this person. So when you are not matched with that person, it ends there. So
Okay.
you will not end up producing children who have sickle cell.
But at what age should someone know his or her genotype?
Perfect question. You see, when it comes to the issues of genotyping, you see, maybe when you are, let me say, now in adolescent age, all of us, when you go to school and when we're young and all
Mm-hmm.
that, during our senior high, let me even
Yes.
say junior high levels,
We learned it at
you learn about adolescent age
adolescent
when you are
stage.
18 years and above and all those things, or 15 and 16, all that. You see, at a point in time where you'll be able to make your decision.
Mm. Oh, let's go. Let's go.
So one thing about that, when you'll be able to make decisions, and a 16 years child can make decisions. But to you, the mother, or to you, the parent, it's very important. When your child is 16 years, 18 and above, please try and let them know their genotypes. Do it so that you, the mother, can educate your children with this true education, with this true medium we are doing. So you know your child, or this person, maybe probably you happen to have like 5 daughters, or maybe probably because of those 5 children, all of them are ladies. Because of marriage, on even your guys,
Okay.
then you let them go and do genotype, let them go and run genotype tests.
Okay.
You know your genotype, you
Mm.
keep them. Then you're able to you actually educate them, just like we are doing. Just like we are doing. Opposite. Just like you are doing. So that is one thing about it. So it doesn't have any age variation. But when it comes to making family, please, that aspect, that is the time, maybe 25 years, 21. There are a lot of people who are getting married within 19 and all that. Well, if you
Mm.
want to marry,
Mm.
let it be part of you. That before I agree to this certain boy, to certain man, to be able to make that informed decision, please try and run your genotype, know your whoever you're going to enter into that marriage with, to make sure that the person also genotype match with you, so
Okay.
to be able to agree.
All right. So, how is it easy to find out your genotype? How is it easy to find out your genotype?
Oh, see this one, this one day you don't have to go and make any EBNO. You just have to work. There are a lot of facilities around, health
Health
facilities around.
facilities around.
There are private labs. There are hospitals. A lot of hospitals run genotype tests. You just have to walk in, see a personnel. You will probably come to the lab. When you go to the lab, any lab at all, the private labs, just as I spoke about,
Mm.
the public hospitals or the private hospitals, you can go to the lab, ask the lab, or tell the lab personnel, oh please, I'm coming to check for my genotype. They will take your sample, and they will check your genotype for you. They will end up giving your results. When they give your results to you, then you don't have to pass any protocol. You don't have to pass through any protocol to be
Okay.
able to know your genotype. No, you just have to make your time, go to the hospital, go to any private facility, and you have your test being run or get tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to young one for getting tested to know their genotype?
All right. So the advice I will have, or that I would like to throw to the younger people and those who are ready to enter into marriage, because of our time factor, if not, just like I have mentioned, there are lots. You see, this hemolytic disease we are talking about, where we talk about blood disorders.
Yes, we would even have time and talk about it
So you
step by
see,
step.
so
Every
you see,
on
so
so many episodes.
so you
Uh-huh.
see, with this one, just like well, if you are listening to this critically or carefully,
Mhm.
you will hear from me that I just said that when it comes to the issue of genotype, it is very, very important to be able to make decision
Mm.
when it comes to Yes, I do. I have agreed to marry someone, then you must know your genotype. Very, very important. And so, what I have for the younger people, for the younger generation, for the young people, is that when you want to enter into an institution of marriage, please know your genotype before you even have affection with somebody. Please let know the person genotype. Also know your genotype to make that informed decision. Don't
Okay.
rush into marriage. Don't rush. Take your time.
Take your time.
Run all the tests that will be required.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God that the churches, you see, now the churches have involved when it comes to this health aspect of
Okay.
those things.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you go to other churches, you are
Mm.
about getting married. There are a list of tests they will list for you. Go and run them. Come, then you make an informed decision. So all these things are paths that you'll be able to do. So my advice for the younger people, whoever that is listening or watching us, try as much as possible to know your genotype before you'll be able to make a critical or informed decision, take that informed decision to enter into an institution of marriage.
Okay, so can knowing your genotype helps in your career or lifestyle? Can it help you?
Yes. You see, why will it help in your career? You see, knowing your genotype is very good
Mm.
because, for example, there are a lot of people, those who have sickle cell. Now, probably, let's assume oh, I'm somebody who is a pilot.
Mm.
Have I'm a sickle seller. Oh, I do a business, or I have I'm into a career by so doing a pilot, or maybe I do businesses traveling up and down and all that. I
Mm.
want to travel to school, travel outside the other countries to run programs and all that. You see, it will help you because when you have sickle cell,
Mm.
you see, anytime at all you begin to have this sickle cell crisis, where you have your joint paining, you have
Mm.
your hemoglobin being reduced, and all those things running that we are giving you, we are putting you on transfusions and all those things. You see, there are some certain areas, locations you are advised not to go, especially where a place where there's coastal or the place is too cool, this Iceland and those things, where when it comes to this rainy season, especially when you go outside some of the outside the country, the place is too chill and cold that you cannot walk like the way where if you are in Ghana, you can wear your short sleeves and robe. No, you cannot do that. There are other places you cannot do that because of the cold and those things. And anybody who is a sickle seller cannot go through this cold weather because when it is through that weather conditions that they begin to have those crises. So it is the weather, that's rainy season
Okay.
where the weather becomes chill, cold, and those stuff. That
Mm.
is the time they begin to have those reactions, having those crashes and all those things, where they are rushed to the hospitals and all that. So knowing this, your genotype will help you to know how to handle yourself. You know that okay, I'm a sickle seller. How do I do? There are a lot of things that doctors will advise you when it comes to your diet, you must watch your diet.
Okay.
When it comes to this, you will do this and all
Mm-hmm.
those things to be able to keep yourself well
All
so
right.
that you will not go through this crisis. So when it comes to genotype relating to career, it's very, very important.
So when you ask someone, do you know your genotype? The person will be like, yes, I know my genotype. Okay, so what's your genotype? The person will be, my genotype is B negative, B positive. So I want you to, what is the difference between your genotype and your blood group?
All right. So when it comes to blood group and genotype, blood group has what we call, we are trying to just check the type of blood you have.
Mhm.
There are a lot of there are type of blood groups that we have. We have A positive, B positive, AB positive,
Mm.
O negative, O positive, all those kinds of blood blood types.
And that is for the genotypes, we have the AS, then
Good,
okay, the
good.
SS and others.
Yes. So those ones we have, they are genes.
Their genes.
Good. So when it comes to the blood grouping, that is the difference between the blood grouping and that of the the genotype.
I didn't get that.
There is difference between genotype
Uh-huh.
and that
And
of blood
blood group.
grouping.
Okay.
When it comes to the blood grouping,
Mm.
though there are blood types that an individual has.
Okay.
An individual inherits a type of blood group that you have. Everybody has his or her blood group.
Mm.
Everybody has his or her blood group. You see, why are we saying that? You can give birth to 5 children. You, the parent, may be A positive. By the time you realize out of the five children, maybe your children that are five, out of those five, maybe you may only have two who are taking their mother, and three may be having
The father.
their father. It's the same thing as you see. But when it comes to the genotype, a genotype, before somebody will say that I have this particular type of gene, it means that the person has inherited from both parents. It means that the person has inherited from both parents. Maybe, just like I cited an example earlier, the mother is AS, the father is SS. Definitely, the child is going to take one gene from the other. Take the mother from the mother side, the father side, come up making it one gene. Then the child. That is one thing when it comes to blood grouping and gene. So you cannot go and do your genotype and end up saying that that's not your blood group. No, it is different. And their way of analysis, for the example, for blood grouping, if a mother ratio factor does not match with that of the child, you definitely you're going to develop what I just mentioned earlier, the hemolytic diseases.
Okay.
Why is hemolytic disease simply means the disorder of the blood.
Disorder of the blood.
That the RBCs that are supposed to be produced to give you the hemoglobin, to give you the blood, they are going to be destruction. The RBCs is going to be destroyed. So now that they're going to be destroyed, what you the one during the pregnancy, you can have you can have miscarriage.
Miscarriage.
Yes, the pregnancy, you realize that you have pregnancy. By the end of the day, probably you've gone to do some scan. They tell you that, oh, probably with this one, oh, you are pregnant within this month, or you are now 6 months pregnant. Maybe you are 2 months pregnant. By the time you realize you begin having your menses. Meanwhile, you're not supposed to have your menses when you are pregnant. You realize that when you begin to have your menses, it means that you have had miscarriage like that. You are going to have flow of blood. So that is what we call. So you see, why is it so? Genetically or medically, what happened is that the child antibodies, or the child that is forming within the mother, because if the mother is ratio negative, and the child that is within the stomach or within the mother is ratio positive,
Okay.
what happens is that there is not going to be matching, because the mother is going to produce an antibodies. The antibodies will attack that of the child. One is attack of the child because they do not match. The antibodies that are produced, antibodies are supposed to produce in the body to fight against diseases.
Okay.
Now it will see the child as a stranger.
Stranger.
Yes. In the layman understanding, to make it simple for whoever that will be watching or who is watching, is that you see, every house has soldiers, or every security zone has a security personnel.
Okay.
See, when you go to the parliament house, you cannot enter, because there are security personnel around the parliament house. Now, what happens is that they are supposed to guide the parliament house, not to allow anybody to come in and attack or to do something which is fishy, that may cause harm to the parliament house. That is what we call personnel. The same thing as the body. The body is also made up, your immune system is also made up to such a way that we have an antibodies that is within us naturally. That when our body comes contact to a foreign materials, the body will produce antibodies to fight against that diseases.
Okay.
Now, when those disease, just back to our decision today, or our discussion. Now, when the mother has that baby in that way, in that regard, the body is also going to produce antibodies. The body is seeing that child that is within the mother as a foreign material. So it's going, or substance, it's going to produce the antibodies within the mother to attack the child. That is the reason why you end up having what we call miscarriage.
Miscarriage.
So you'll be there, you realize that, oh, I'm pregnant, but I am having miscarriage and all that. So when it comes to the issues of genotype and blood grouping, is very, very important, in this regard. Okay. Yeah, it's very, very important.
So let me ask this. What's let me look here. Okay. How can genotyping contribute to public health? How can someone knowing his or her genotype contribute to public health?
All right. So what see, now why are we saying this? You will realize that there are a lot of anemia cases when it comes to anemia, sickle cell, and all those things. There are sickle cell cases. One thing that about this, or how this genotype thing can contribute to public health, in a sense that when it comes to the prevalence, where the higher cases are.
So let me ask you something. what would be your final remarks on what we've really talked about? What would be your final remarks?
All right. So first of all, I want to thank the Avine Studios
Yes.
for their time
Okay.
and also hosting me. It's an honor to be here as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, we're hosting you more always,
So,
always.
so to those who are also watching, try as much as possible to subscribe, share, and like, so that he can. You see, by your way of doing this, encourage him to do more.
Okay.
It helps him to go far and also to help him do what he's doing. It means that you appreciate what he's doing.
Okay.
Because these educations, you see, you can go somewhere and you find out that there are a lot of things that you have to do, but there are some people who do it freely.
You
There
didn't
are
pay
others
for it.
who go, but you pay and listen to his advices when it
Mm.
comes to counseling aspect and all that. You see, but what I want to say, what I want to say last is that please, to be at the savior's part, to be at the savior's part, try as much as possible and know your genotype. Know your genotype. If you know your genotype, you'll be able to make an informed decision to be able to so that, oh yes, I can marry to this person, I can marry to this person. Don't marry later and complain and be praying. No. This the time is now to be able to don't don't marry wrongly and put pressure on God. No. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Ivandi Studios, and it was about the Love Podcast. Yes, we hosted our brother MLS Steve here, and we were talking about genotype. So, please, this is Ivandi Studio on the Love Podcast. We'll be having so many episodes with him. So, kindly stay tuned. One thing is, do really subscribe, click on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a new video, you'll be the first person to get it. So, bye bye for now. See you in our next episode. Thank you.